Welcome to Face to Face. Our guest today is IAGB President Sanjay Gowda. IAGB is organizing its annual India Day event this year, this Sunday on August 15th. We are going to talk to him what is going to happen there, logistical issues, as well as the cultural programs, food, and the event is also open to everybody. And this year it seems there is no fee. So we'll talk to him about all these things. And so, Sanjay, welcome to our show, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Upendraji. It's always pleasure to talk to you, and thank you so much for inviting me on this platform to talk about upcoming event India Day.
Excellent. We always love talking with IAGV anyway, so it's a pleasure to have you again. So let's first start with the basic facts about the event: when, where, how, what time, and how people can attend.
Absolutely. It's a India Day Festival 2021 on August 15th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., but the seating starts from 2 p.m. at the Hash Memorial Cell, the Esplanade, on the bank of the Charles River in Boston. And this is again on August 15th, 3 to 7 p.m. Seating starts at 2 p.m. and it's open to everybody and free for all.
Excellent. Now let us talk about you have a very interesting chief guest this year. So tell us a little bit about the chief guest.
So this year, absolutely, this year we have a very important chief guest, Niren Chowdhury. He's a CEO of Panera Bread, who actually recently moved to Boston. I believe he was also on the INE platform and Manju's interview.
Yeah, we did a
Yesterday.
chai with Manju interview with him. Yes, sure.
Absolutely. So he is going to be our chief guest. And of course, he's known around for the movie The Sky is a Pink. The story is based on his true story is based on his life and his family's journey. And he is going to be giving a keynote address at this event.
Excellent. Now, IAGB India Day always has a very exciting cultural programs of all different types. And I think this year the program is divided into two parts. One is produced by the Berkeley School of Music, and then other regular cultural programs. So just talk a little bit about that as well.
Absolutely. So the pandemic has been an interesting for all of us, and after the restrictions were lifted, we kind of pivoted our planning from virtual to the in-person event, and then we all kind of went around and finding a place, and we ended up at the Hash Shell, which we have celebrated there for number of years, for several decades, actually from 1987. And this year, we have collaborated with the Berklee College of Music, first time, first IAGB collaboration with Berkeley, and sort of a first time, first of its kind, having a live concert in the history of IAGB as well. So there are as far as the entertainment program is concerned, there are two segments. One is the cultural performances and some youth band participation from the various artists and performers throughout the New England area. And the second part is a live-in concert by the Berklee College of Music Indian Ensemble, led by Annette Philippe.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit in more detail about the cultural programs? What type of cultural programs and youth bands you will have there?
Right.
And how
So
many roughly are going to, how many groups are going to perform there?
right. So we have about 10 plus groups,
Mm-hmm.
and they're from all over the place. And again, representing the diversity of India from south to north, and different types of folk dance to Bollywood to and everything in between. And we have these are just only a few selected ones, best of all those who have submitted their nominations for the performances. And we also have IAGB has a youth group, and the youth group put together a concept of their own, to kind of bring their own talent, and they work with the various youth from the community, and they practice for almost 2-3 months, and they are putting together about 15-20 minutes of the concert from the youth group. And we also have another 15 plus minutes of adult sort of the concert or a singing performance by Leher Group, and then the other 10 plus performances. And this is more like one segment of the program. Of course, the second segment is the almost 75 to 90 minutes of Berkeley School of Music live in concert.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the in-person event, and as if I'm right, I think this will be the first in-person event during the pandemic era, or post-pandemic or semi-post-pandemic era in the Indian American community here. Tell us any precautions the attendees need to take, or you are using some sort of precautions, and how people should be concerned about that issue.
So absolutely, Upendraji, this is the first in-person sort of a large-scale event from the Indian American community, but not just only Indian American community, first of its scale in Boston itself. Mm-hmm. After the restrictions were lifted. Of course, there are other events going on, but the event that we do at the Hash Shell, it's a first of its kind in the last, since the pandemic started. Sure. And after the restrictions were lifted. And of course, the pandemic isn't over and COVID is still here and we want to be extra careful. We'll follow all the CDC, city, state guidelines. Hash Shell is a state property and we are following everything they are asking us to do and more. We will have free masks for everybody and we will have sanitization stations for everybody to make sure that they are extra careful and take all the precautions and measures. And we want to make sure that everybody follows and of course it's a state property and we everybody is aware of all the guidelines, and again we want everybody to take a look at the CDC guidelines, state guidelines, city guidelines. Please follow that, and we're going to put together all those guidelines in our website as well, and we encourage everybody to be careful, wear masks, and follow social distancing when possible, especially though if you are not vaccinated.
Also, when we have always seen that at the India Day, people come and at Hash Shell they sit on the front, on the ground and all this stuff. So, will you have some sort of a marking, distancing-wise, that this is how people are going to sit there, or people can just come and use their own judgment and keep the distance?
I think we will leave it to the people to kind of make sure how comfortable they are. And again, we work with the Hash Shell and the city agencies, and they said we don't have to do it. And in fact, they don't want us to do anything like that, especially on their property when such restrictions are not there. But again, we hope that everybody who's coming there is vaccinated, and we also have free masks and wear free masks when possible, and make sure that you are protected and everyone is around protected as well. And again, I'm hoping that all our community members are vaccinated. In fact, IAGB hosted a series of vaccination camps to make sure that everybody vaccinated as well.
Okay. And also, a lot of the event is attended by a lot of kids. And also, a lot of kids are also performers during the IAGB event. So you will take all the precautions and everything so that everybody.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Good. Now, the fun part is the food. So tell us about the food, because one of the things I like about IAGB is going there and eating the whole day, this restaurant, that place, and this food and that food. So what is happening this year as far as the food is concerned?
So we have 3 restaurants bringing variety of cuisines from pretty much all parts of India, and they are bringing. Each one is setting up their stall and kind of having unique cuisines representing different parts. Some are actually doing are making the jalebis right there, sugarcane juice, and dosa corner. Pretty much you can think of any the popular ones that are out there. They are bringing it there, and some of them are actually made on spot, and they start serving from almost like 1 p.m. and all the way to until the event is over. So the plenty of opportunities to kind of taste pretty much variety of cuisines and items from all over India.
So which are these restaurants?
So there are 3 restaurants. One is the Home Kitchens from Needham. Mm-hmm. And the second one is the Maya Grill from Wakefield. And third one is the Mela from Boston.
Okay, perfect. Now, can you also talk about other logistics issues in terms of parking and uh, how there is going to be. Is there any vaccination place on the site or no?
No, we try to actually see whether we can do some vaccination because the state, the DCR folks didn't want to have the vaccination place there because there are plenty of places around the hash shell, and they wanted to kind of reuse or direct the folks there if somebody is not vaccinated.
Okay.
And so we don't have a vaccination on spot, but as I said, we will take all the precautions, extra precautions than what the state and the city and the CDC kind of mandates. So that said, going to Boston and parking in Boston is always a challenging one. So the Storo Drive leading to the hash shell, the rightmost lane is always closed for us for our event from noon to all the way to 8 o'clock. And so people who are driving can, they can't miss it, and they can actually slow down and drop off their family members or friends who are in the car, and they can actually go and park wherever it is convenient. So there are two bridges they can actually pass over the Soro Bridge and come to the Asheville. Unfortunately, this time the bridge over the Soro Drive on at the Hash Shell is closed for some construction. So that leaves us two other bridges. One is at the MGH and Charles, the subway station. The
Sure.
other one is probably another five minutes walk to the, I think it's the Dartmouth Street footbridge. These are about 5 minutes apart walk to the Hash Shell. And so I would suggest those who are coming by the car, the drop off at the location and drive one of these locations, one of the closest to one of these bridges, the bridge at the MGH Charles River or at the Dartmouth Street footbridge, and park closer to that. I think there are a lot of parking places, garages near the MGH, and that's where the MGH Charles station is, the subway station is, and you can park over there. And this is Sunday. Sunday street parking is also free if you can find something closer there. Around MGH area, there is a lot of free parking. And of course, if you are connected, if you're closer to subway, I think that's a preferable one. ALY for any other places you can park and just get out at the MGH Charles River and literally 3-4 minutes walk from the station to the ash shell.
And booths and vendors are equally exciting part of India Day. So tell us how many you have this year and what type of vendors you have this year.
So we have vendors of all kinds. There are about 25 plus vendors. They, bringing clothing, jewelry, henna, and all kinds of things. And sometimes even there are a few vendors who are actually having some games for the adults and kids as well. So there are all kinds of vendors that are going to be there, about 25. So they will be ready to actually the community members and come experience and do shopping, probably starting from 2 p.m. itself. So come, the hash shell seating opens at 2 p.m., open to public at 2 p.m. And the event starts at 3 p.m., but you can come early and grab the best seat, bring a picnic blanket and maybe some chairs as well. The Sunday is going to be a beautiful day. The weather
That's
looks
very helpful.
absolutely fantastic. As of now, the weather looks absolutely fantastic, and it's not as hot as it was in the last couple of days. So come early, enjoy the food, enjoy do some shopping, and enjoy the entire entertainment program. And again, this place, the Hash Shell on the banks of the Charles River is a perfect picnic place for the entire family to come and enjoy the whole day.
Okay. Now, India Day has every year attracted huge number of people and Indian Americans. Every year, the program has been held at Hatch Cell, and also I think last couple of times IAGB did it at City Hall as well. So I know it's a tough question to ask you, but I have to ask you, what is your estimated number of people you think will attend given the current pandemic?
That's definitely a little tough question. But as we were talking about earlier, we want to be very responsible and make sure that everybody is protected. But at the same time, this is the open space, and there's a large park in front of the ash shell. And in the past, we had tens of thousands of people actually come to India Day events, both at the ash shell and recently at the City Hall Plaza. I am hoping that more people who are protected and now come with the family and friends and enjoy the event. And it really doesn't matter how many people are going to be there. It's a celebration of our community. It's a celebration of the freedom. It's a celebration of the Indian American community contributions and celebration of who we are actually. So that's what we want to continue the culture and the tradition of Indian American community there. And I hope more people come and join and really celebrate the Indian pride at the heart of the Boston city.
And the event is totally free for anyone. You don't have to
It's
register, you don't have to pay anything. You just show up there and that's it.
absolutely.
No questions asked.
It's free and open to everybody. Free masks are there, sanitization stations, food is available, shopping bars are there, and more importantly, we have a wonderful program lineup from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Come early and just enjoy.
And this is the 75th anniversary of India's Independence Day, right?
74th anniversary, but the 75th Independence Day celebration.
70, okay.
As it started in this 1947 itself as the first celebration. This year is the 75th celebration. Next year will be the 75th anniversary. But the 75th celebration itself is a milestone event. If it wasn't pandemic, we would have planned a much bigger celebration. But given all that we had, still this is a very significant effort, and bringing this such a huge program in this situation to to our community in the heart of Boston.
Now, before I let you go, this is your second India Day as a president of IAGV. And of course, you have been involved with many of them, also as a vice president. Your 2-year term will be ending sometime soon, actually, right, after this event?
That's correct.
So if you can also briefly talk about upcoming elections and transition as well, I will appreciate that.
So I've been involved with IAGB for almost 10 years, 6 years as a treasurer, 2 years as vice president, and the last 2 years as
long time. That's a lot of work for IAGB, yeah.
I enjoy doing what I've been doing. It's very gratifying and satisfying to do what we do at IAGB, and especially in the last 2 years, there was never a dull moment. We had an event at least every week or every other week, and pretty much touching every aspect of what what the community needs in many ways. So yes, our 2-year term comes to an end by end of September. The election is scheduled for sometime in September, and the nominations have been, we want to receive the nominations, and communication has gone out to everybody and also our members with what, if somebody is interested, how they can actually submit their nominations to be part of the election at the next committee. And the August 16th, actually the coming Monday, is the last day to submit your nominations to be part of the next committee. And the next committee will take over from October 1st. If there's a contest, there will be an election sometime in the September. The election committee will decide those logistics, but there will be a general body meeting as well as part of the election as well, if there is one. But that's again sometime in September. All those who are out there, it's a giving back to community. This is our community, and this is what we want our kids to kind of learn about who we are and what we do, and celebrate ourselves, celebrate our culture and tradition. As I said, our contributions also. So that way, there are newer challenges the community faces as we move forward. The issues that we had 20 years isn't the same as what we have now, especially the last 2 years. Nobody would have said, if we are saying something, the things like, we need to deal with in the last 2 years. So we need everyone's help. And this is a community service, and we are doing it for ourselves and our kids. If you're interested, take a look go to our website and be part of the next committee, somehow, help one way or the other, volunteer and be part of the service.
Well, I think personally, I think that your and your this committee's biggest legacy is going to be the launching this hoisting of flags in so many towns and cities around New England, and that's a massive, creation of awareness. So, congratulations on that front, and thank you very much for you and the committee did during the last 2 years. And then the flag hoisting is going to stay for there, hopefully now moving forward.
I
And
hope so too. I hope so
yes,
too. This has been a very tremendous and very satisfying experience. Of course, the flag raising probably looks like a symbolic in some ways, but doing it and going through every town, getting the permit, creating that awareness, everybody knowing about not just only the organization but the Indian American community, the culture and the contributions, and each town getting involved in organizing and having this formal ceremony to recognize largest democracy on this land. It's something makes me always emotional, and it was very satisfying and gratifying in many way. Hope we'll continue, but I think that's where we need to do the grassroots level, creating awareness of the Indian American community. I believe that what we did in the last 2 years at least started that a little bit in some way.
yeah, it did, yes. Okay, Sanjay, thank you so much for your time today. I really enjoyed chatting with you as always, and all the best for India Day.
Thank you so much, Upandraji. It's always a pleasure talking to you again. All your audience, it's on August 15th, India Day Festival 2021 at the Hash Shell, the Esplanade in Boston from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. The seating starts at 2 p.m. We have a range of programs, entertainment programs, food mela, Indian bazaar. Just come over there and enjoy. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Supendraji.
Thank you.